right.
All right, here with Dave Emerson of the admissions office. My second admissions person I've been able to talk to, Lisa and Dave. It always kind of goes Lisa and Dave. Like you guys are always kind of linked together. No pun intended with the link there. But Dave, good to chat with you, my friend.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, give us your how long you've been here. What do you do specifically? And then maybe one thing about Cornerstone that you've really enjoyed seeing from your perspective.
Absolutely. So I've been here about 16 years.
Wow.
And my current title is Director of Admissions and International Recruitment. So primarily what I get to do is help recruit students to come to Cornerstone and try to see what a great place this is for them. And it's a lot of fun. I get to work with a lot of great students. Primarily, I work with our admissions recruiters. We have freshman recruiters and a transfer recruiter that travel, work with families, help them through admissions, financial aid, tours, a whole slew of things. And so I primarily get to work with them and also work with international students and helping our university grow in that area as well. So I think being here for 16 years, one of the most fun things for me is just seeing this university grow year over year, whether it's enrollment or new facilities or just new activities, traditions. It's been fun to see this place grow and become what it is today.
Yeah, that's awesome. When you said travel, you probably don't do as much as the counselors, but I do want to go back to last year. You made me jealous with one of the trips that you got to take. So, but it was more of a relationship building. But you went overseas for, it was what, 2 or 3 weeks that you went overseas?
3 weeks, yeah. So international student growth has been really fun to watch at Cornerstone. When I started working here, I think we had 4 or 5 international students. They were all from Canada and they were all on the men's soccer team. And now we have, I think last count, close to 70 from 33 different countries. And we keep growing. And so last year I had the opportunity to travel with 12 other Christian colleges and go to Southeast Asia on a recruiting tour, visiting different schools and fairs. And that was a ton of fun. It was a ton of work. It was very hectic, a lot of travel. And I think we were in 7 different countries in that span. So it was a lot of flight hours and travel, but it's been really fun because I've seen fruit from that trip. Even this fall, we've had 3 students, would have had 6, but because of COVID, a few students weren't able to make it. But that was fun to see actually some fruit from that as well. So we're hoping to continue that once it's a little safer to travel again overseas, I guess. So we'll see what happens.
That's good. Let's go a little bit to athletics, sports. That's why it's what I'm here for. Help lead the department. We have a lot in common of Ohio State love. A lot of the other people that I interview that doesn't go so well when I bring up the red. But what is your favorite sport to watch?
Probably basketball.
Okay.
Always loved basketball. I grew up playing basketball. I was a huge Bulls fan in the 90s, obviously, who wasn't, right? But I stayed with them even when they are horrible. I love going to Cornerstone basketball games and supporting Coach E and watching them play. I coach my 10-year-old basketball team in the winter, so always had a big love for basketball. But really, any sports I love watching, and it's a lot of fun.
So I can't really ask you the question of who's the GOAT, because I'm guessing.
I think you know.
You don't even have it doesn't even have to be a hesitation behind who.
I even went with his hairstyle. So
you did. You mimicked after him from day one, right? But the Last Dance, how incredible was that to watch?
That was amazing.
So cool.
That alone got me through quarantine, right?
Yes, I would agree. And even because we were, like I said, you loved watching the Bulls and the Knights. I didn't like the Bulls. I wasn't like a fan of Jordan and Pippen and those guys. But it was like that, the introduction music, the
Yeah.
and now from North. It just brought you back. Like I had goosebumps. I'm like, this is
Yep.
so cool.
Yep. It was fun, and it's cool. Like my 10-year-old, you can't really, like, he knows who Jordan is, but even him watching a little bit of it, it was fun to kind of watch. Like, oh, I get why Dad was such a big fan of the
Yeah.
Bulls growing up. Like, they were really good, and Jordan was pretty amazing.
That's really cool. So
So,
cool. And I think they share with your kids even better, because it's
Yeah.
like our parents or my dad always talked about, like, he was a big baseball fan, the Reds and the big red machine in the 70s and 80s. And I'm like, I wasn't born yet, Dad. I don't have a clue what you're talking about. But to hear him talk about what drove him to watch sports was really cool. And I think that's what sports does. It brings communities and people together.
It does. It does.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's do a little bit of favorites. So favorite movie.
Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, Dumb and Dumber. Love it.
I know.
We're here, dude. We
Throwback.
are here.
It's quotable, and yeah, I could quote that any day, any moment.
So good. All right, favorite color.
Green.
Why green?
I don't know. I just always loved green from a young age. Just
Cool.
something about it. All greens. It could be neon green, dark green. I mean, don't call me a Sparty fan. Like, I'll support Sparty, but we're not going there.
Ah, it's good.
But I like green.
Favorite meal.
Oh man. Well, I'm originally from India. So I love any kind of spicy Southeast Asian cuisine, to be honest. So any type of curries or spicy noodles, dishes, you name it.
It's lunchtime. I think we should go get some Indian cuisine.
Let's do it.
I love it. Let's
do
it. Favorite vacation spot that you've been to?
Man, good question. I would have to say Australia. I grew up just north of Australia, and my sister still lives there. So that's probably one of my favorite places to go.
Awesome.
When we can.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Favorite class that you had during college?
Oh, man. It's a long time ago, Aaron. Come on.
It's, sometimes you have to think back a long time. When we have to think back to a long time being in college, that we're getting old fast, Dave. We are getting old.
I know. I would probably have to say international business. Just going back to, those days. I grew up overseas, loved everything about just international culture and business, and that kind of brought everything together for me. So yeah. I'd have to say that was one of my favorite classes.
That's good. All right, last question, a little more serious now. I can ask this to almost all the people I get to talk to. It's changed over the last 5 months when I started it to now, because 4 months ago we're stuck at home. We couldn't go anywhere. But now we're back into school. What's something that you've seen our campus really embrace during these last 5 months, and then getting back to, I'll call it the new norm, if you want to call it that. I don't like that necessarily, but what's one thing that Cornerstone has really done well from a faculty, staff, student perspective to get back to living a life that we're kind of used to in the past?
I think what I've really appreciated, and working in admissions, we were sitting in March kind of a little horrified, like, are we going to have students coming this fall? Like, what's it going to look like? I had international students that embassies were closing, they're not going to get visas and that kind of thing. But what I loved about Cornerstone was that from the top level down, we were just making things happen, not sitting back and watching and seeing what other schools might be doing. We were like, no, we're going to make decisions, and we're going to trust God that this is going to work out for us. Whether it was, hey, we need a virtual tour like now, so families can check what the school is like, or athletes. We had a lot of coaches that were trying to get athletes on campus, to even just saying, okay, this is the protocols we need to put in place, and it needs to happen like tomorrow. Like we were, and we're even hearing that now. Like we did such a good job as a university compared to even a lot of other schools who just were really slow. And I think that showed even in us being able to kind of match our incoming class this year to last year. A lot of schools aren't in that position, and we're blessed and fortunate. And I think it's because of that resiliency, just of our campus community. To be honest.
Good stuff. I don't think you could have answered it any better. I would wholeheartedly agree. From top down, we just gotta say, hey, we gotta go forward. We can't be backpedaling here. We can't be reacting. We have to be proactive, and that hasn't been a totally common thing across the campus the last 10 to 15 years. Let's think proactively of this, not reactively. That's been a really good thing.
Yep.
So, all right, Dave. Thanks for joining me.
No
good
problem.
stuff. We'll definitely get into some more of the cuisine and the curry and the spice. I think we need to have some lunch here pretty soon.
Let's do it. Let's do it for sure.
Good stuff.
Thanks,
man.
Aaron.